Today I'm going to be talking about this book, Tang Soo Do, by Hwang Kee, by Grandmaster Hwang Kee. Now this book is pretty old. This book came out in 1992. So as of right now, it's 30 years old. And Hwang Kee, who wrote it, is the founder of the Mudokwan Federation of Tang Soo Do. So this book, like I said, it's old. I think the Mudokwan is probably the biggest organization of Tang Soo Do, and a lot of people think it's the only one, but it isn't the only one. But it is pretty large, and a lot of people have been promoted through that organization. So, if you're interested in Tang Soo Do, if you like all the Hwang, the forms from Tang Soo Do and techniques, this is almost, even if you're not a member of the Mudokwan, this is a good book that has a lot of information on the system and on the style, whether you're a fan of that system or organization or not. It's got a lot of things in it. It's pretty expensive. I looked it up just before doing this video, and on Amazon it cost $157 for this hardcover copy. I got this many years ago. I don't know how long ago, 20 years ago or so, I think. And I know there are other volumes of this book too, but they're really difficult to get. The other ones have some of the advanced forms and history and things like that in it. So, but this one is available, but it's very expensive. In this book, it has a lot. It talks about the history of Tang Soo Do. It's got, it talks about the influence and the cultural influence of the system. It talks about the attributes that you need or that are needed for the style, the theory and the guidelines for practicing and training in the system. It shows, actually it's got pictures in this. Old pictures from the 1940s all the way to like the late 80s and early 90s. And most of the moves are demonstrated by Hwang Kee's son, H.C. Hwang. So, it's got a lot of things like that in it. It also has pictures of the old Chinese monks doing exercises. So it's got quite a lot of history in it, and it's got many pages of those exercises by the monks. It's also got many pages and shows copies and pictures of the old Muidobo Tonji, which you can see they're just copies of pictures from that book. And that book, I believe, came out in 1790. There was no translation up until not too long ago. But now you can get a translation of the Muidobo Tonji, the old Korean martial arts manual that kind of cataloged all the old martial arts of Korea. And so it's got copies of that in here as well. It's even got things on physics. It shows formulas in there. It talks about force and acceleration and things like that. It also shows a lot of the techniques. It shows a lot of the techniques of how, back fists and fist punches and hammer fists and different types of kicks with the ball of the foot and stuff. It has it has the basic forms as well. The Kicho Hyung Ilbu, Ibu, and Sambu, the first three forms of the system. And it has the 5 Pyongan forms. It also shows applications for those forms, some basic ones, and it shows the Basai Hyung, or what would be called Basai Dai in Japan. So this book, it's a pretty useful book. A lot of information, stances. It gets real detailed on the angles of everything and how to do them. And like I said, it shows some applications, things like that, and it gets into the forms as well, and the origin of forms it talks about, and it talks about the other forms, but it only shows those first 9 forms. But here are some pictures from the forms. So I would highly recommend this if you're into Tang Soo Do. If you have the money to spend, it's a good reference and a good manual for you. All right, hopefully that was helpful. If you can like, share, and subscribe, I'd appreciate it.